So today we have a big personality with us, Dr. Rajnivatvam ma'am and Dr. Nabaneeta Rudra ma'am. So talking about Rajni ma'am, Rajni ma'am is a public health specialist from India. She brings expertise in the sexual and the reproductive health, adolescent health, STI, HIV, and water and sanitation hygiene. Rajni ma'am works as a director, program implementation at Plan International, India, and leads different projects on WASH, SRHR, and menstrual health amongst many countries and hundred of districts in the country. And talking about our another speaker is Dr. Nabaneeta Rudra. Ma'am is a WASH expert in Plan India. Uh, she is a development practitioner trained in phytopathology with more than 2 decades of experience of working with government, corporate, and NGOs. Her education and experience helped in laying a strong foundation on project management, and she is a P4 certificate in the project management also. Public analysis, monitoring, and evaluation of a project, along with developing a workable solution for efficient management of development projects. She has also experience of managing large-scale development projects funded by international funders such as ADB Bank, USAID, UNICEF, UNDP, World Bank, and Zika, and government from ministries and departments and university. She has also worked extensively on the policy implication, ensuring inclusion of underprivileged section of the society. Her sectoral areas of expertise include public health, education, WASH, skill and entrepreneurship, development, natural resource, such as agriculture, forestry, horticulture, and climate change disaster risk reduction. She is currently working as a senior technical advisor in a WASH with Plan India. So we welcome you, ma'am, and the floor is all yours. Please
Okay, great.
take it.
Thank
Dr.
you.
Rajni and
Thank you,
Dr.
ma'am.
Rudra, we also welcome you. And let me also tell you that Center for Youth has been working with Plan and with a lot of your partners almost 7 years. So it's with great privilege we welcome both of you.
Thank you so much. And good morning, everyone. At the outset, let me congratulate the C4Y team on organizing this important boot camp series for the young fellows. And thank you for inviting Plan India to share our learnings around water smart solutions. So safely managed water, sanitation, hygiene services have, especially so now in COVID-19 pandemic times, have assumed more importance and are now an essential part of preventive and protecting the human health. Even in our core programming, we have tried to integrate the good wash and waste management practices,
Dr. Rajni?
healthcare facilities. Yeah, and last year we defined a country strategy to identify 6 core areas of work like quality nutrition, sexual reproduction, health rights, inclusive education, protection from gender violence, skills and youth employment, and building resilient communities during emergencies. And WASH continues to remain a cross-cutting theme and has been integrated in as a key component to achieve all these areas of work. So I will now pass on the microphone to my colleague Nabaneeta, who is also the technical expert within our organization, and she will talk in detail and share some of our flagship programs and the learnings around it. Thank you. Nabaneeta, over to
Thank you,
you.
Dr. Yeah, thank you,
Thank you,
Dr.
Dr.
Rajni.
Thank you so much. In fact, would like to thank C for Center for Youth for organizing this meeting, and also, in fact, calling us Plan India, giving us a platform to talk about our projects and the program. So I will just start with my presentation, and I'm trying to put it up. If you please, any one of you can just confirm that it is coming.
It
Has
is
it
there.
started coming? Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
it's
there.
there.
Yeah, it's
Yes,
So
there.
ma'am.
thank you. Yeah, thank you so much again for this opportunity. Absolutely, we are very happy to present to you. So I will be talking about water smart solution projects, which Plan India is doing, right? And one of our model initially, and then I will also talk about, like Rajni has already said, also talk about few other projects. So basically, village water safety and security model is the thing which I would like to talk more, because that's important current, considering the current situation, and also the climate change, impacts of climate change. So I will start with, sorry, my presentation is not going to the next slide. There is some technical glitch. Yeah. So can you
Okay.
see my first slide, Plan India's goal of 2025?
Yeah.
Like
Yes,
Rajni
ma'am.
has already talked about, but I would like to start with that because it gives a kind of a flow. Plan India is a nationally registered not-for-profit organization, and we are here to, and we are striving to advance children's right and equality for girls, thus creating a lasting impact for the vulnerable and excluded section of children. So that's the major work of Plan India. We are in 25 states across India, and we are directly impacting the lives of more than 1 million children and their families. So that's the big agenda, in fact, big target we are trying to focus, strive on, and work on. So if you just talk about Plan India, so, and what are few things which we are chasing, we as Plan Indians are chasing, are promoting girls' right. That's a prime work which we are doing. Thrust on 6 thematic priorities. So I will be talking about the thematic priorities as well. Focus on poor and excluded families and communities. That's the main core of our work. Working in partnership at all levels, that's the most important thing which we believe, and we work, be it at any level, be it at the village level or at the government level. We believe in working in partnerships, and that's the major strength of Plan India. Now coming to that, how we work and what remains at the core of our work. So more towards gender transformative programming. So we try to integrate gender transformative programs everywhere, whatever, whichever theme we do. Girls and women, we try to engage them, and because they are the active drivers of change, and we believe, and we have, that's in our genes, you can say. We have a greater emphasis on influencing and advocacy. So we understand and we know that we are the civil society partners, but we are not government. We have a responsibility of bridging the gap between community and government. We understand that very well, and that is what we focus on, those portions which are not touched, or which are not, in fact, seen by government or any other programs. So we try to work on those niche areas which are not being touched by anybody else, and which requires immediate attention of ours. So we have a responsibility of identifying them and also working towards them. We have also a responsibility of scaling up targets and outcomes. So it is always outcome driven. Whatever we do, we set our targets and goals very straight, and we chase towards achieving those outcomes. And not last but the least, that we always measure our impact for girls and young women. So whatever impact we are measuring, if we, I just give you an example, that if we are working in a community, we only measure our impact with the number of girls and young women we have mobilized, we have helped. We do, but for doing so, we work with the entire community, but they are our core people. So if you say, if I'm saying that we are working with 1 million children, or we are working with 1 million girls, actually our target is 10 million young women and girls. So 10, for doing so, we are talking to, or we are working with about 50 million people in the community, but we are measuring impact for only girls and young women. So we are very stringent, and we have our goals set very straight. Now I'm coming to the themes on which Plan India is working. So actually we have 6 themes under which Plan India works. First is inclusive and quality nutrition. The second is sexual reproductive health and rights. The third theme is inclusive and quality education. The fourth is protection from gender-based violence. The fifth theme is skill opportunities for young employment and entrepreneurship. And the sixth theme is resilience in emergencies. Now, you people will think that, oh, where is WASH? And Nabaneeta is presenting the theme WASH. So, considering earlier, we also had a WASH as a single vertical. But considering the requirements, the needs which we have currently in COVID situation, WASH has become a cross-cutting theme. So it is cross-cutting to all the sectors, whichever sectors we work, we have a WASH agenda integrated to that. And with so, what we are doing, in fact, what we are targeting or what we are doing or what we are chasing. Uh, so our efforts and uh, our efforts towards sustainable development goal. And if you see the four, we believe on four major aspects, which is learn, lead, decide, and thrive. And our these learn within this learn, lead, decide, and thrive, we try to see the girls are educated, they are equipped with skills for work, for and life. They are able to take action, they influence, they work on issues and matters, they are able to decide, and they can take control over their life and their bodies. The fourth is thrive. So I was just discussing that learn, lead, decide, and thrive. These are the four major pillars under which Plan India works. And we have with all these pillars, we are impacting SDGs. So if you see from one, two, three, all SDGs are listed here. So most of the SDGs of 17 SDGs, we are impacting 8 SDGs basically, of which WASH is a very important SDG. And as a cross-cutting theme, it is with all our basic themes we are working with. So this is Plan India's SDGs and how we are impacting, and we are very strategically monitoring our measurement indicator. We have placed it very strategically, and we are monitoring it on a quarterly basis. So this is about Plan India's work on various themes and various aspects. I am now moving to the village water sanitation, village water safety and security model, which we are trying to present to you today. Now, what is the concept of village water safety and security? As there is a need. In fact, if you see at the background, that government is responsible for making all the infrastructure, be it village level or be it at any other level. But there is a need that community also understands and community participates and community owns it. If there is no ownership from community, then whatever infrastructure is brought to by government will not be functional and will not do the actual work what it is expected from that very infrastructure. So there is a gap between community and government, and there is a need also because now climate change is day to day knocking to our doors, and water is a major element through which climate change impacts our earth, is impacting our earth. So the concept of village water safety and security is derived from that. It is a process. It is a process which helps in participatory planning to create and empower community-led groups to ensure availability of clean drinking water for all. We know that we do not have, you must have, in fact, yesterday, you must have been, in fact, there in the program which Devender sir was taking. You must have seen that he must have talked about how many people we do not have access to clean drinking water. But if whatever water is available at the village level, if it is managed properly, then possibly everybody will have there's his or her share of clean drinking water. So objective of our village water safety and security is derived on that kind of a notion that we empower people to have water available for each of them. So it is an equity and equality driven program as well. Now I will just talk about the sector challenges with not too much of data. Why? Because you all know about data. We know that there is in the in coverage of rural water supply, right? Up till 2024, in the every household should be having a tap water. That is what government of India has decided. But what about sustainability? And as you know, sustainability is a challenge. So you provide drinking water supply, you provide pipelines, but if sources are not sustainable, then tomorrow whatever infrastructure investments will be made will be of no use. So few sector challenges which are very important are sustainability, sleep back or poor water quality that I'm sure you all of you are aware of it. Source sustainability, source system sustainability, and sustainability of quality. Now, the second is capital investment is necessary, but it is not adequate. India is a developing country. We do not have that much adequate capital investment as well. The sanitation challenges, coverage and its uses, they are really, in fact, in a challenging stage right now. ODF, ODF is true in true sense. So ODF, we do not have that kind of situation. It is still a distance dream. Open defecation is still being practiced, or if it is not practiced, it is being the way the sludges and the sewers are maintained. It's absolutely not what which is expected as part of ODF. Sustainability is a dynamic process. So these are few challenges which we are trying to manage using our solution, which is VWSS planning. So the solutions is VWSS planning, village water safety and security planning. It helps in enhancing communities' capacity to manage water resources, water systems, water quality, environmental sanitation, school sanitation, and ensure delivery of safe and adequate drinking water. So that's the major objective, I can say outcome we are trying to see through this solution. This solution also enhances the capacity of village, block, district level stakeholders, community groups to facilitate participatory process for preparation of school, village and household level micro plans for water safety and security. So it's a joint responsibility. It tries to empower everybody and enhance their capacity to deliver the clean drinking water for all. And it also helps and prepares micro plans for water security and safety and of the villages and its implementation. So these are the basic solutions which we are trying with this VWSS planning. Now coming to key features of this planning. There are few key features of this planning. First is establish meaningful partnership, which is a little time taken, but very much engaging. We do, that's the first feature, triggering, which we do. We try to and talk to the community and try to tell community what is coming if this is not being done properly. So that's the triggering process. We do demonstration, we do participatory assessments and analysis. We provide technical inputs before and during micro planning. We prepare action plans with clear agreed ownerships, timelines, and implementation of it and monitoring. And then it is approved by Gram Sabha. So we try to engage Gram Sabha to approve it so that community owns it. And with our support, they are able to deliver it. It's community which is at the forefront. It groups which are forefront. We are the people only facilitating the process. The action plans are then prepared in the form of workbook. So it's basically a workbook based activity which is tangible and which has various and which has activities divided into small groups so that people are able to take it up, and they are all can be digitized so that it can be seen in various platforms as well. It's a basic platform, basic framework, and a space to reflect the issues which may be unique for the status of the particular village. So the issues are very particular. So we have rooms to cover issues based on the particular villages. Now, this concept revolves around underlying principles of Plan India. which is child-centered community development approach, which Plan India believes and Plan India works with. And if I talk about the 6 principles of this CCCD approach, children at the center. So always children, basically children and girls, they are the center. They are guided by human right principle and standards. So everywhere we try to see that these principles as standards are followed and maintained. Responsibility and accountability. So responsibility of Plan India staff and Plan India partners, Plan India, in fact, that volunteers, as well as responsibility and accountability of government people and the community people. So they are specifically, in fact, designed, defined, and then added during this entire process. Inclusion and non-discrimination, that's again a basic principle which are driven through this, which drives this kind of approach. Gender equality and participation. So these 6 principles are underlying principles of our child-centered community development approach, which we try to follow when we work on this VWSS process. The key elements of AWS's process are very important because these are the scientifically driven approaches which takes us to drink availability of drinking water, safe drinking water for each and every people, everybody. So when we start with this process, we do community participation, triggering and technical support is being provided by Plan India staff and volunteers. And when we do this as part of this process, we prepare 4 important plans. Source sustainability, demand and supply side plans, they are prepared. Operation maintenance and water quality plans are prepared. School water supply and sanitation plans are prepared, and environmental sanitation plans are prepared. So when we start doing this at the community level, we trigger the community, we talk to the community. It's not 1 day process, it's a long process, and you all of you must be knowing about PRAs and PLAs. So we do PRA and then it is led to PLS, which is participatory learning appraisal. We are not imposing anything to the community. We try to learn from what community is doing currently and how community wants this to happen, which is also a very important part, because whenever you start working on any village, if it is a top driven or it is driven technically, the things are can be planned properly. But if it is not human centered, then that implementation many times fails. If it is done properly, then also they are not sustainable. So we do mostly PLS. We try to learn from the community. We sit with them, we learn from them, we understand their requirement. And as part of our work, we also understand that how community wants to come out of this situation, which is also very important, because unless they think this is the next stage, where they want to go, how they want to go, and what will be the process, unless we do not take them through this process, its sustainability of activities are very, in fact, hard drain. So we try to work with them, and then we prepare small groups within the community, and we provide them responsibility of making these 4 plans. So sustainability plans, operation and maintenance plan, school water supply and sanitation plans, and then environmental sanitation plans. These all 4 plans help us to drive the complete agenda of VWSS. As I said, BWSS is a process, and we have these kind of plans prepared. So how do we do? What are the steps? So there are 10 steps into it. The first is develop rapport with the community. The second step is formation of village level planning teams. The third is secondary data collection. The third stage is training of video resources planning team on need assessment, identifying water resources, their condition, water budgeting, etc. The step fourth is process for source sustainability plan. The fifth is process for operation maintenance plan. The sixth is process for school water supply plans. The seventh is a process for environmental sanitation plan. And the step 8 is micro planning workshop. for consolidation of WWS's plan. And the ninth step is Gram Sabha's consent and then follow-up actions. So these are the steps which we follow. And in general, in few villages, we have seen that this process goes very fast because the process of 4, 5, 6, and 7 goes parallelly because we have different teams aligned for that. But we take time in doing the first and second plan because formation of the rapport building, and if it is a new village, then rapport building and formation of village level planning teams sometimes takes time. Secondary data collection doesn't take much time. So if you see on an average, 3 to 6 months are enough to complete this BWSS process and establish the village as per the requirement of Government of India norms and the village water sanitation plans. So this is a process which we do in a village. I'm just going to the little details of that. My yeah. So you must be thinking ki what we do in this process. We start talking to the villages, we collect the basic secondary information, and then we visit the villages, we meet with block level officials, we also talk to the panchayats, and we try to build a rapport. During this time, this period only, we try to identify people who can be useful for the planning teams to lead the planning teams, and also to set the things right for us. So while we do this rapport building, we start thinking on the planning team formation. So during this rapport building phase and planning team formation phase only, we do all our PRAs, PLAs, the key informant interviews, talking to various people, doing some focus group discussions. So these are all being done in these two phases because we try to, this is the time when we are trying to understand or know the village more, and the village people are also trying to find out details from us, and it is very important and also a part of transparency that we talk about what we are heading to, how we are going, and we give a complete understanding of our work to them. So we do these two phases and then build the rapport, and we try to form a planning team. Initially, we do individual meetings, but in general, after that, we start doing, in fact, group meetings more. The step two is secondary data collection. We try to collect all data sets. If I talk about the data sets, it's all each type of data sets, which includes ground level data, the village, in fact, the historical data, the rainfall data, the land structure data, everything we try to collect. We try to also collect the data for any forest nearby, any landfill nearby. So all hydraulic and environmental data sets are collected during this stage. And apart from that, we try to see and triangulate it with the data set of population for that very village. The rainfall data is very important, which is again being collected, and we also try to talk to the village people to see where they have the slopes, where they have the watersheds for planning the plains where we can develop some watershed or some structures. After that, we try to train the planning team. So experts from Plan India as well as from the district. Together we form a team, and then we try to train government village level people on various processes. Then we start thinking about the drinking water budgeting, the budgeting for the cropping intensity, how much water is required for agriculture, what is the first level of water and what is the second level of water which can be harvested for various activities. And this all being done with the community so that community understand how much they have, how much rainfall they are getting, and how much is their expenditure and how much they need, so that they are able to maintain this in a very strategic way. The step 5 is process of operation and maintenance. So we try to talk about our F chart because water maybe not that contaminated, water may be good, but if we have in fact open defecation, then absolutely the fecal oral contamination can happen. So here we talk more about hygiene, water safety norms. Apart from that, we also talk about personal hygiene, hygiene at home, hygiene at your neighborhood, so that there is no then we are able to cut down on water contamination. So we do mostly focus group discussions, then we present them videos, we take them to some pictures, some films, and then we try to engage community to build the hygiene. So this process is also very engaging, and then people take a lot of interest in these processes. After that, we try to talk to the school, because children are at the center. So we try to engage them, and then we try to hand the baton on to the children, and we try that to empower children. So and then we start driving the agenda through children also. So one theme is we are driving, we are working, we are taking something, some technical aspects, breaking down them to the level that community understands. And the second hand is empowering children to take the process forward with their parents, with the community, so that it becomes a child-centric, child-led consultation. The seventh process is environmental sanitation plans. So we orient them, school children and the planning team. And then it becomes, because now it becomes child-led. So child-led household visits we do, walking to public places we do social mapping of the village, utilizing children's competence. We do the planning teams. Here also we utilize children. Then we start preparing the micro plans. We do the workshops and do the micro plans. After the micro plans are done, we engage with youth, and we ask them to present it to the Gram Sabha, and then we take approval of Gram Sabha, and then we take it forward. So this is all about the 9 steps. Now, in these 9 steps, you may be finding everything which is participatory, community-led. Why? Because this is important. Unless it is community-led, unless it is participatory, it will not be sustainable. So now, where Plan India's expertise come? Where is the technical part? So in fact, apart from the community initiatives, initiating community communication within the community, initiating dialogues within the community. These are the softer components which we do. We also do the hard components. We help them to deliver rooftop rainwater harvesting, revival of village ponds. We help them in constructing check dams, nalas, bunds. We help them construct percolation tanks, subsurface dikes, point source recharge systems, infiltration wells, infiltration galleries, hydro factoring. So all these aspects, wherever they are all need based, wherever required and wherever we have funds available, we do them. We help the village to do it, and we also help the village to in a way that they are able to maintain it within their capacities. Because if you bring something alien from outside, and it can work for 1 year or so, but if it is not maintained and managed by the village people, it will not remain sustainable. So we try to build their capacities to maintain and manage whatever infrastructure we are putting for this water safety and security model. So these are the few measures. Now, I talk about what do we do in environmental sanitation. So environmental sanitation involves 4 major aspects. First is personal hygiene and behavior, which I already talked about. So hand washing, use of ladder, personal hygiene, nail cutting, food hygiene, maintaining drinking water free from fecal contamination. These are the basic things on which we do a lot of communication. We do campaigns, we do behavior change models, and we also have nudging built very strategically for in these parameters. We also do triggering for construction and use of household latrines, which are very important. And as you know, we are still not ODF for the entire country. Now, the third thing, which is very important, again, an important aspect, liquid waste management. So liquid waste management is the most ignored part. If you see in cities also will find there is no drains properly prepared. There has to be a different drain for draining the rainwater, which is not available in our country, and that is what you will find waterlogging everywhere. If drains are available, they are not covered, they are not underground, they are not, if they are not covered, they are uncovered, they remain filled each year, and they are not clean each year. So that is what, whenever is there any season, we'll find waterlogging in Delhi, waterlogging in Chennai flood, and then uh, absolutely in Mumbai also. So liquid waste management is again a very is a concerned area. So for villages concerned, so what we do here, because village we have space, and the wastewater, which is actually not black, actually gray water, can be utilized on kitchen garden. So we try to see all those possibilities and utilize the water as we utilize the water for various purposes. So how the bathroom waste can be utilized, how the kitchen waste water can go. We try to create soak pits. We try to help them to manage drainage pits. We also see the aspects of kitchen garden, if they can come up with kitchen garden and utilize the kitchen water, waste water. So these kind of management, small things are being done, and we try to see that there is no water logging at any part of the village. And also, whatever water is being drained is managed through soak pits, so that there is no water logging or a water spill in any part of the village. So this is a part of liquid waste management which we do. The fourth aspect is solid waste management. So in village level, at the village level, we know that agriculture waste, kitchen waste, plastic waste, and construction and demolition waste. These are the four things which are very important, and we try to see and talk to the village panchayat to manage these wastes properly. So this is again the part of environmental sanitation which we do. Coming to VWS's micro plans, how it is made. So activities, it is divided into basically three parts: activities which can be done at the village level, continued activities of awareness generation, the second part, and the third part is which activities which needs government resources and support. So this is divided into as three aspects, and when we divide it into these three aspects, we try to monitor it, and based on follow-up systems, and it is being done by the panchayat, the gram panchayat, and the VWSC group, which is being established at the village level. So when we divide it very categorically, the roles and responsibilities of each organization, be it individual, be it at the village organization, or Plan India as a technical partner, or government as a resource support, we try to divide the responsibilities, and it is accordingly managed by these three basic stakeholders, and then, or we can say group of stakeholders, and monitored jointly, so that activities for each and every stakeholders is being implemented properly, and again it is the way it is to be operated and managed and maintained are being monitored properly also. So we submit action plans to the block panchayat and zilla panchayat. We also follow up on implementation. Monthly meetings are being done. Coordinations are being done with block resource centers and under the existing schemes, because there are state level schemes as well which provide support when we are working on anything on watershed, or may say on village planning, or the Swachh Bharat mission money which government is giving for preparation of this kind of burns, or say soak pits or toilets. So we try to engage and mobilize funds also from all these sectors, all these government schemes which we try to dovetail and deliver the complete WSS micro plan for that very village. Joint planning and discussion is a basic and major part of this activity. And how do we do it? Like it's already as discussed with 10-step process, which is being done at the village level. And at the end of it, or at the mid of it, the major decisions which are being made are made by the panchayats, by the group and the gram sabha. How much water do they have and how much water they need? This is the first decision they made. So there are various in fact a series of gram sabhas or series of discussion meeting happens, and each discussion meetings are bound to take one or two decisions. Based on those decisions, the next process starts. So first process is to decide how much water they have and how much water they need. The second process decision is how the water facilities should be operated and maintained, ensuring safe drinking water. So is there in fact decision. We are there to support them, to inform them that if these things are not managed properly, tomorrow they will not get clean drinking water. But decision is there. They village level people jointly take decision how they want to operate and how they want to maintain. The third decision is how much they need to pay as a water tariff, because in many places we have also seen and established, in fact, pipe water supply system with the support of government. There, there's a need of water tariff. So how much should be the water tariff? That has to be decided by the government, by the village people, and maintained accordingly. The next decision is decide what type of water sanitation facilities children need in school. So at the school level also, though government is creating and maintaining those infrastructure, many times we have seen that the infrastructure is not maintained properly because it was not decided with the community, not decided with school children, not decided with the teachers who are the people utilizing that facility. So we try to talk to government. We try to talk to village people to understand and create facilities accordingly, so that it is child centric and child is able to utilize that facility. At the school level, there has to be separate toilets for girls and boys, and there are different needs for boys and girls. So we try to integrate all those facilities, all those small pieces, small building blocks to it, so that the facility remains friendly for them. There's a decision required from the village level about the cleanliness of the village. So we how when it will be who will do cleaning of the village, how where the dustbins to be placed, where they what they want to do, how they want to in fact want to do this waste, or do they want to compost it, do they want to do it individually, or it is a joint composting pit they want to create. So all those decisions are taken with the villagers and implemented. We help them to implement, and then they take it forward in a long run. Now, how the entire village will be covered, household level toilets. So we may find that sometime that there is a government funding for toilet construction, but the numbers and units delivered by government, given by government, are not adequate. So we try to sit with people and find out that who are the most needy, who cannot create toilet with their own money. They can be provided with government support, and remaining people can come up, can construct their toilet by their own money. So this kinds of decisions were taken jointly at the village level with the community, so that it is taken to in a longer way. So this is I think this is all about my VWSS in fact presentation, which we do in each and every village wherever Plan India works, and wherever we have the WASH agenda being taken forward. So everywhere we try to do village water safety and security planning, and then we implement it in a holistic way, so that we are able to construct toilets, 100% use of constructed toilets, and we are able to manage the quality of drinking water in that village. So this is the project, or which is a core theme of WASH, which we are very passionate about, and we are delivering in all the villages we are working. So I was talking about that. Apart from that, we have projects which are donor driven projects on WASH. basically in divided into two, three levels. Like hygiene education is the biggest thing which we try. We are working. So we have curriculum developed, which are digitized curriculum, which are being utilized by our to train teachers, government school teachers, and these video based curriculum is being taken by the teachers to the students. So this is one which I can, if you wish to see some videos, if my connection also permits, I can show you one or two such videos, which is on education, hygiene education. So there we have, in fact, different topics like personal hygiene, hygiene at home, hygiene at neighborhood, hygiene during illness, and then how do we utilize this 3 R's, 3 R's. So these kind of education, hygiene education's videos we have created, and we are implementing this in various states, basically around 3,500 schools. We are currently working with that hygiene education project, and that is in UP, Bihar, and Uttarakhand. Apart from that, we have projects on menstrual hygiene management, which we are doing at the rural areas as well as urban areas. So we have this project currently running in Jharkhand and Delhi. We also have programs where we have a responsibility of complete ODF village, that we are doing in Rajasthan. So these are few. Apart from that, there are other projects also. Like we are having projects in UP, Delhi, and Rajasthan for school hygiene. So there we are working with around 1,500 schools. So these kind of small projects are need-based projects we have, and they are funded by various donors. But wherever we work in a holistic way, like Plan India works with all the teams in a village, in our sponsorship area, which is again a big area, around 6,000 communities we are working. So there we try to integrate our VWSS plan, Village Water Safety and Security Plan, which is a long-term plan and gives a sustainable, in fact, and also a sustainable approach to sanitation. So this is all about my presentation. I will be happy to respond to your questions, and please feel free to ask questions. Over to you, Dipesh.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for your presentation. So now the question answer session is open. So, fellows, if you have any question, please ask. Ma'am, could you please stop your sharing
Yes,
screen?
I'm doing that.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you, ma'am. So,
Ma'am,
anybody have any question? Please raise your hand.
yeah, I have a question actually.
Yeah,
Uh,
yeah, Neil.
so, ma'am, I just wanted to know that, like, when we go to like the ground sabha level, usually, like, people, it takes a lot of like, convincing and making people aware, ki, like, what the problem is. So, I just like to know what are the general difficulties that you all have faced when, whenever you all have tried to implement something new.
See, I would say when you buy a new shoe, right? Just for example, you in this you are new to that shoe, and the shoe is also new to you, right? So you face trouble. Similarly, when we start projects and in a new area.
So plan, they pick up certain locations, geographies. In that also certain villages or communities, and they work very intensely in those locations. So range of projects they implement. So it's not like that one project is running in one location, another one in another location. But those particular locations, they try to work towards holistic development. So it'll be there'll be some project with the focusing on wash will be going on. Some projects will be more on other issues that'll be there. So that's the reason they try to look at working with the community on with integrated approach. And that's the reason in long run, if you see, there's a great adaptability and has a great, kind of responsiveness that comes about plan from the community, because they see the result and the plan, and officers and plan team, they work very, very, in fact, they work in a very integrated manner, like with panchayat, with all the village level functionaries. So in village, you have your Anganwadis, you have your ANMs. It's like village, but in communities in urban areas also, they try to work with all the local governance that is there. And that's the reason at every level, the acceptability is very, very high. Namnita, are you here?
Navneeta, are you still there? Sorry, thanks, Alka. You took that. So that's great. Very true. Here to respond to your questions, we already have a field presence in many of these states and communities where we work on different agendas of development, and WASH being, one of that. So it's easier for us to, because we already have that rapport with the communities, with the gatekeepers, with the functionaries at different departments, different districts. So it is easier to get into that. But yes, the answer, if you have to start at a new place, then there are various entry points. You engage the communities to find out what is the requirement there. And when it is need based, then they are more open to adapt. They're more, so you make joint plannings and you do all the joint activities to take these things forward.
And Rajni, the entry point, what are the entry points that you said entry points?
See, entry points means that, if you're working, say, for WASH, then you would probably have the village panchayats, you would have the health centers, the ASHA or the ANMs. At district level, you would have different kind of departments. So by entry point, I mean where you start your dialogue, at what platform, at what levels, to get into that community and start working over there.
Hello.
Yeah, Navneeta, you're back.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. My network is really, really challenging. I'm not
Okay, no
able to.
problem. So we have completed this question, but if there's, I think Badal has raised his hand.
Yes, ma'am.
Rajni, may I request, because Meeta is also available, my
Yeah,
network is
you're
not
okay.
working
No, we can,
properly. Can
Navneeta, it's okay.
please,
We
if you
can
can, you and
hear
Meeta can
you.
respond. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you.
Badal?
Yes, Badal, you can ask your question.
Yeah, good afternoon, ma'am. Ma'am, I have a question regarding like you have told about the 6 major working areas of your organization and the strategies and challenges and every like brief you have told everything. I want to know any of the case study regarding any of the field that you are working on, like for village water security and any other field, any kind of case study.
Yeah. Okay, Meeta will respond. Meeta is also one of our technical expert in WASH, and she is around. Meeta, please. Yeah.
Thank you, Rajni. Nabaneeta is in field, so I thought that I will pitch in. Badal, the case which Nabaneeta and Rajni was presenting, I have lived it through in state of Jharkhand and Bihar, where we have done this thing and a lot of cases. One case I would tell you that, the six approach which we said, I will say a case which comes to me directly, and I'll talk about in the context of water solution, because we are talking about the water solutions and the WASH as a cross-cutting theme. There's a non-technical case I will come, because generally we say when we do a water thing or sanitation thing, it's a whole lot of engineering, but the organization like us is to unbundle the cases, unbundle the local solutions. So one solution I will say that, there was a village. In fact, I would like to share you a photograph also. This is a village in Bihar, where there's a set of Musar family. Musar are represent the minority group, and that family was not registered in the government thing, so they do not have a government facility also, like pipe water supply and what. And we know when they get registered, the DPR, it is a long process. So what we did, we had this consultative process there, and we come up with a water model which was a solar operated. We call it a Jalminar, which was serving to the rural tribe of Vaishali district. I'll show you a photograph of it. I hope my thing is visible.
Not yet.
No, ma'am.
Yeah. So is it visible now?
Now it is. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, so the
Yes,
case
ma'am.
was, you see a before situation of a 40 family Musar, and when you see cross a village, no, you will see that in hand pump it is only the ladies and girls who are fetching the water, the pot of water which weigh equally or sometime 40-60% of their weight. So we did this solar operated gelminar there, which was not community engineered, but it was community owned and managed. So that was a local solution which we think we can come up. There are others also. For example, there's a simple thing of like we're talking about the children, the school thing. When we open a tap, and there's a lot of water we waste in hand washing. So we put there, 25-50 rupees a nozzle which have a sprinkle water. So these are the simple local technology and cases which we felt we managed water, try to manage and optimize the water. Thank you.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so
You
much.
can also visit our website, planindia.org, where you will find under the resource section a lot of other case studies across the other themes as well. So if you need something more, you can always write back to us.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. Anyone else having any question?
I just wanted to, in fact, because I have seen in field the work that plan has been doing when I'm not, and the way it has been so intensely done. So here, Rajni, the way you have shown one case study here, if you can show some other structures, if it is handy in terms of your presentation, or maybe talk about your structures and in the process of ownership, you're saying it is community points, community owned. So when you say how you make sure that it is community owned, when you say it is community owned, what exactly that you mean? And who takes what responsibility? Because those are very interesting points for all the designated fellows to understand.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I would
Neeta,
on
sorry.
the same yeah, I would come on the same case of what's Telminar. Community owned, we thought it to be in 3-4 place, because one was the selecting site for it, because site selection also is very critical part when we come up with a water sanitation structure. It has to do a lot with the power play. The hand pumps comes near the power holder of a village. So I would say in this Musar community, if you go in and around area, they have a water and sanitation thing. So site selection was one of the thing in which we involved community. Second, there was when we coming on a simple thing, you see, there's coming on a number of tap it should have, the slope it should have, how it will be operated. Because, one of the thing which the earlier participant also asked, one of the challenge we face with the water solutions and the sanitation solution, that these are the common property, where everybody want to take benefit and people do not want to contribute much. You don't want to take more water, but you do not know how to judicialize its use. So in this case one which I represented, we have worked out this kind of a water user group, so that if it is solar operated, how many people, how you are taking water, how you are sanitizing the place near it, else you will see whole the drainage and the garbage would come up in the water collecting point. So that was it. There's a minor repair kind of thing, because washers sometimes get disrupted, the floor sometimes get disrupted. So there's certain minor repair kind of thing also in which community would have see. And I would say that the women would more of a watch group here, in terms of people are not wasting water and which household is using and taking more. So these are the 3-4 checkers which we felt that it is owned by community.
Yeah.
Wanted to
So
know
next
that, yeah.
question. Yeah. Thank you, ma'am, for your answer. So the next question from Karthik.
Yes, I wanted to ask that when you start in a new area, so how you guys are received by the government official or the department, or what kind of support they lend to you in terms of operating in any village? How they guys receive you? Matlab?
Okay, so I would say that, see, I mean, we work in 25 states, and where the packaging of wash vary in different proportions. There are certain very easy to go and a good example which led an example, and there are certain challenges also. So again, how we start with the government, I would say, the stage which we are in, I would say that, Plan India, if you see, we are guided by our country's strategy plan. So which is a guiding document for us. So in country's strategy 4, Plan India was a key resource center to Department of Drinking Water and Sanitation, and we were like a national trainers by the department. So I mean, when you're so that becomes give us a lot of legitimacy, because once you are a known key resource center by the government, because government goes with a lot of kagaj patta thing, there has to be evidence back. So that was there. And second, what Rajni also said, that in many of the village, suppose village is new, but that panchayat or that district is one of our old programs. So the district officials generally remain same. I mean, though the villages differ. So seriously, in my experience, there's not much of a confrontation on any part of getting support of a government. And plus, Plan India also is a partner to Niti Aayog in 7 aspirational districts. So this give us a bit of space to negotiate with the government.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. So, any further questions?
I have,
Yeah, Sandeep, go ahead.
Thank you, ma'am, for the presentation. So, ma'am, my question is that when you work in a village, so there are certain conflicts within the villages, like conflict within the villages, like the based on the caste, based on the religion. So, when you're working on the village, so how will you deal with that conflicts to put all the people on the same page?
It's very difficult question. I mean, we exist in a society which is lot of hierarchy in terms of caste, creed. I mean, a lot many more. But I'll give you one of the example. It was of a tribal village where we had that time we had funded a structure. It was a hand pump actually, and we went to for a visit there, and we were like, in a pen paper, we were happy to see that we have 10 targets and 10 are constructed with this technical design and etc., with all having that gram thing process. But when we transact that village, we found that it has been installed in an area where the power body lives. It was the minority area was not taken in a priority. So these things becomes, I mean, you have to be like very 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 I mean, judicious and very visionary to understand the structure which we talk on a ground in field, it is going where, going to whom. So these are the sites which we have experience in our field. The benefits getting more towards a power, not toward the people who should get it. I mean, considering the inclusion and the gender equality part. But you have to keep your eyes, ears open to connect the thing and get it corrected. So it's not an easy answer to your question, but the only thing, your field experience, you have to put your foot in the ground. That we say, when we implement a project, we have to put our foot in the ground. It will not happen sitting in a state office or a national office. You have to put your field in the ground and you have to see what is there in the ground, who is getting, who's not getting.
Thank you, ma'am.
So yeah, the bottom line here is to continuously engage with the society, and you involve faith-based leaders, you involve the village people who are actually looked upon, so people actually listen to them, and you're planning, pre-planning, where you have a lot of community consultations to bring about why these things are required at this particular area, this particular point, and how the village will benefit at large, the larger communities will benefit. So a lot of dialogue and planning has to go, involving the right kind of people.
Yeah.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
Thank you, ma'am.
ma'am, I have also similar question linked with Sandeep. Such as we know many projects of Plan India working in the village level. So people still are unaware about and less educated on the topic like health and hygiene, menstrual hygiene also. So how do you tackle the caste class dynamics and the patriarchy which is imposed on women in the village? And how you ensure the equity amongst the community?
Okay.
Okay, I'll take the last sentence first because that is bringing a picture in my mind, which I would like to again share a feel thing, and I would like to be excused. It's all a rough collections of few field visit. On the equity part, you see there's a two picture, right? Right? So
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
the man who is with a stick is a guy who is a who have a locomotor disability, and he had a toilet built with Swachh Bharat mission, the toilet which he cannot use being a locomotor disabled. So in terms of equity perspective, I would say, this is a picture of a Kuti village in Jharkhand. So we had a discussion with him. We showed him 2 3 options, and he selected one options. And to my surprise, we thought a commode option would be easy, but he said, no, I'm not comfortable in commode. So he had, kind of mud raise Indian pan. So that kind of time you have to spend, and that kind of knowledge also you need to have in your resource pools, that what are the uh, people friendly design options. And so it was in one of the field visit, we went there with our laptop, so we shows the designs, and this guy picked, and it only took 2,000 to 2,500 rupees to make that toilet equity friendly in terms of making it usable for a locomotor disabled. So that was in the case of equity thing. And on menstrual hygiene, what you say, see, I would say the menstrual hygiene thing is something, it's very difficult. And I mean, it's a lot of stigma, and a woman would never say, I will not cook, I will not walk, I will not fetch water because I'm having menstruation. And she say also there's no excuse. I mean, we all do, we all suffer in every 5 days of a month. But I would say on the menstrual hygiene, Plan India is taking it as on a very serious note. It is a part of our sexual health and reproductive right thing. So menstrual hygiene educations in terms of involving men, in terms of creating a school which is a gender friendly toilets, coming with a disposal of napkin options, also sometimes giving support of sanitary napkins. These are the key component and a regular component of our project. So that is how we are taking care of menstrual hygiene management, and it matters a lot for Plan India. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am.
And Alka, if we have time, I can take another 1 or 2 minutes.
Yes, ma'am. We
Yeah,
have time.
please. In fact, I have a question
So
also.
I have another case study and also answering the question of this latest question by the fellow. I'll share my screen and I'll show you something that we have done. Are you able to look at this?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Okay.
Rajni, we can
So
see
this
that.
is the story of change with pink toilets, And what are these pink toilets? These are enablers for gender equality. So we know that these toilets are integral part of all the city's basic facilities. It ensures dignity of the users. It is safe space for women and children, adequately equipped with basic hygiene standards. They are well lit, guarded. They're more welcoming. You see the photographs over here. We worked with these pink toilets. We partnered with PVR cinemas here to make these toilets more safe spaces, and these are now well maintained, and it increases the women participation in workforce. And I'll tell you how it does that. Okay, I'll just move. The toilet spaces were looked as opportunities for behavior change communications. So it wasn't just the toilet, but there were so many things. It was helping the women stepping out, increasing their incomes, and how I'll show you again. I'll go to that. We had trained women attendants, and these the services that were offered. So it has both the Indian and the Western toilets. It has low height toilet basins for children, handicap friendly ramps, toilet seats. They are equipped with sanitary pad, vending machines, incinerators. It also has a breastfeeding room or a pod over there. There are changing rooms. There are hand sanitizers. The attendants have been provided with the uniform and the face shield, the masks. This is, of course, for COVID. And you know what? How we're developing these are one, it is going to be now having a technological interface where, the users are able to give us the feedbacks. There would be digital screens that will display the IEC, and we will also be tracking these users according to the age, the distance from how far they're traveling. And then there are safety procedures, features, security, SOPs, which are developed for women and safeguarding. And a lot of this, so it's a public health platform now, these toilets. They are just a platform to create awareness for hygiene, sanitation, the different government schemes where people can be linked to, bringing in gender equality, financial inclusions, talking about nutrition, so Poshan Abhiyan of the government. And what we saw was up till now only the women were as caretaker of these toilets, but the engineering part of it, the maintenance part of it was done by male counterparts. Now we are training the women folk to do the minor engineering work, to change the bulbs, to do whatever is required to maintain these facilities. So what happens is that they are now going to be also having some role change. They would be economically well off. So, and of course, we're building in more automation, around the taps and the soap dispenser, etc., keeping COVID in mind. This was just, yeah, this is what I was talking, that housekeeping was something that the women was doing, but management, repairs and maintenance was something that was a non-traditional role for them. And, one of our studies shows that 30 to 50% women who were uh, enrolled in some of the technical courses in UP, Delhi were women for, in the male dominated courses as well. So now we are taking this up. So, I mean, this is just to answer a few of your questions, that how we are building the gender perspective, how we are bringing in, health, hygiene, nutrition, linking to government schemes also, along with the WASH platform.
Yeah. Thank you so much,
Thank
ma'am,
you.
for your
Actually,
answer. Yeah, it is.
Dipesh, I just want to add here that Dr. Rajni, we also working with Plan India on the pink toilet projects with 10 more
Great.
facility additions.
Great.
So
So we
that's
have
what we were
so many
planning.
other examples, and that's why I said that this time will always be less for us. But I'm inviting once again everyone to visit our website, and you may want to gain a little bit more from there. We also have our Twitter pages, our Facebook pages, LinkedIn pages. You can always follow and see, you can see the various updates that we keep putting there.
Dr. Rajni,
Yes,
I'll
ma'am.
take one more minute of yours if you have. Is
Sure.
basically internationally how plan is working. That if you can tell us very briefly. And in the presentation, it was all we were talking about communities and villages, because I know you work in urban spaces also equally in the similar conditions. So I'm just, if that urban conditions in India and as well as internationally, if you can throw some light on it, and then we can close the session.
Sure, sure. So Plan International is working across almost 80 countries now, and largely our focus is girls, children rights, promoting education, promoting nutrition, promoting sanitation and hygiene, uh, humanitarian response, especially during COVID time. It has assumed a lot of importance, but otherwise as well, responding to the say the climate change, the floods, the famines, whatever comes across. So children and girls especially remain to our core. Also, what we do is we do not work with individuals, but we work towards strengthening and building resilient communities. So we work at the school level also. We work at the say the village level, the district level, slum level, so that people can benefit from all the programs that we do. Uh, we are also now moving very quickly towards digital first, because we want to do a lot of digital innovations within our work profiles that we do across the countries. We also do a lot of work now on, say, the livelihoods, ensuring that people, they're long lasting. When we say long lasting interventions, it means that it's not that we come, we work for a year or two, and then just go away, and then there's a dip. But we want to sustain our programs. So what we also do is work with other stakeholders, work with governments, so that we can weave all these innovations into the government programming, and it will continue to sustain within the communities, creating user groups. So even here in India, we work with lot with the self-help groups. So one of the questions was, what are the entry points and how do you sustain these interventions? So there are these smaller Mahila Arogya Samitis, there are these self-help groups, there are microfinance group, where you can always, work together with them, and so that it can lead to sustainable programs. So these are the various different ways, and we internationally also we keep exchanging notes and learn from each other, the cross-country platforms, how everyone is responding, and we try to get the best practices and for a further efficient programming within the countries.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Ma'am,
Yeah.
Yeah,
is there
Dipesh.
any plan? Yeah, is there any plan for gender neutral toilets in schools for LGBT community?
We have now started working towards that as well, and we are doing a one very big program in Northeast. It's called Birds and Beestalk, the Birds and Beestalk, where we have all these different features. We just started working there, and it is about working with the school children, with the teachers, and of course talking around such different issues. And we're also working with LGBT communities over there. So yes, we have these plans. We have done some work in Maharashtra, yeah, but it was more so on awareness building activities. But in one of our programs that I just mentioned about the birds and beestalks, where we are working with these young people from the northeastern states.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
So, Dipesh, we need to, yeah.
Yeah. So we can see that Plan India is really doing wonderful job for planning for gender equality. So first of all, we are very grateful to have you, ma'am, Dr. Rajni ma'am and Nabaneeta ma'am, for enlightening us for the session. And it was both fascinating and timely and well received by each and everyone for us. And it was insightful presentation with uh, all the detail of the process which is taken by the Plan India. And we sincerely thank you for giving us the time despite your busy schedule with ministers. And thank you so much, ma'am, for your valuable time to satiate us on the hygiene and health knowledge. Thank you, ma'am. And with this, I conclude today's first half session. And I would like to thank C for Y for this opportunity for moderating this session. Yeah, thank you, ma'am.
So thank you. Let me also take this opportunity on behalf of Center for Youth and all the designated fellows here, and Dr. Rajni Wadhwa and Dr. Meeta, and as well as where has she left? Nabaneeta has left. No, she's here. Okay, so I want to thank each and everybody that you people, I know that you're very, very busy, and I know I spoke to Dr. Rajni in some time before, and she says she's very, very busy, and sometimes she will be sparing, but you could stay. Thank you very, very much. I think it has been an honor. As I said, we have been working on and off with Plan, but knowing and deep diving into your way of working was something I wanted to do, and sail along with all the fellow designates. I'm also pleased to inform you that all these fellow designates, 20 of them, are from all over India. As you can see, their states are mentioned when they log in. And they are master level students of environmental sciences, management, water governance, and as well as of MTech PhD scholars. And they have been now, as part of the fellowship, are placed with different organizations across India, and as well as they're going through these boot camp sessions where they're trying to zoom in, and spotlights are there on different organizations. strategies and solutions. So I think it's a great effort by you people that, despite it was a very, very tight schedule, I could understand that. So thank you very much, Meeta and Dr. Rajni and Dr. Nabaneeta, for sparing your valuable time. And we're looking forward to work with you in the fellowship in a near future. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everyone, and all the best to all the young fellows.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, they'll be
Thank you.
completing their fellowship by December. So it's a long process for them. And I think this is all our different small baby steps for grooming them. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All the best. Bye-bye.
Thank you for joining.
Yeah, thank you,
Yeah.
ma'am.